everybody, this is Chris Irving again, Kratom in the Morning with Chris, doing my daily blog. I had a question or a comment that I wanted to refer to today, and they were like, what do I use to make my Kratom tea? How do I take it? Do I take it in pills? Do I take it in crushed leaf, powder? So to answer that question very easily, this is what my Kratom looks like, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's labeled Vietnamese green Mang Da. So, and it is just a ground powder of the leaves, and this is a tablespoon, which is about 7 grams. I've weighed it on the scale, and I've asked Alexa, and so I put about this much in a cup. This is pretty much a level tablespoon. If I'm really wanting to overdo it like I normally do, I'll put 2 of these in, maybe, which is like 14 grams. But this size is about half a kilogram full, and I go through 4 of these a month, and it is just powder. This particular stuff came from Amazing Botanicals. I get 4 different strains for $100. I'll usually get a green, a red, a yellow, and a white. Because each one of those, like, I'll take yellow at night before bed because it kind of calms me down, brings me down a little bit, which is nice. And so that 7 grams I put in a cup about this big, and I have no idea how big this is, and can't really show it to you because I can't tip the cup because it's too full. And today I am drinking Vietnamese green Mang Da, and I did get my medicine today, which is really nice, so I'm not super anxious. And I learned something very, very interesting today. Going back through all my psychology books on anxiety and depression, which I suffer from profoundly, and it said, what kind of a thinker are you? When you're thinking in your head and having that inner dialogue, are you thinking about the past, or are you thinking about the future? Me, I think about the past. In the past, I'm always thinking about all the bad stuff that happened to me in the past. So that makes me depressed. But my problem is I focus on the future. So if I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking, man, I need to save $1,000. I need to get my oil changed. I need to get more Kratom for next month. And I only have $10 right now. And I don't get paid until the 3rd of the next month. And I've got bills. I've got hospital bills, oil change bills, which I'm not going to be able to afford if I want Kratom, and a lawyer that I pay to take care of some of my past debt that my ex-wife left me when she kicked me out and stole all my credit cards, destroying my credit, maxing out all my credit cards, and not paying any of them. So I got stuck with the debt. That's life as a stupid husband. So thinking about the future all the time, I'm always worried about, is something going to break? Is something bad going to happen? And so I'm always anxious. If you focus on the future and what can go wrong and try to prepare for it, you're going to be anxious because you're always trying to think of a solution for a problem that hasn't happened yet. If you're concentrating on the past and all the regrets you have, and man, maybe if I would have taken more an aspirin a day, I wouldn't have had a stroke because my blood would have been thinner. Just something stupid that I couldn't have known that my blood clotted. I never had blood test before that. Maybe I should have. Maybe that should be part of a diagnostic physical, but because strokes are the third killer in America, and they usually happen for other reasons than they happen to me. I just happen to have a genetic blood clotting disorder, and for that, there's really no way to prepare or prevent it unless you know that for a fact beforehand. And doing something as simple as taking a baby aspirin a day would do enough to keep your white platelets in your blood from clotting together and getting stuck in your brain or your heart, which, because of my past hatred of medicine, I didn't take any. Even with my headaches or toothaches, I didn't take painkillers of any kind. Aspirin, I just grunted through it and thought I was better for it. My ego is bigger than my brain sometimes, because had I done a normal thing, even if I had drinking, my neurologist said if you had drank a beer or two a day, alcohol thins your blood and you might not have had this blood clotting, and I was vegan, which is all vitamin K. Vitamin K is potassium, and so everything I ate was green and blood clotting. I didn't, my blood, I was making a perfect storm for a stroke, which, as you know, has devastated my life and caused me great depression. I slept 2 hours last night because I was worried I wasn't going to have enough money for my $3 bottle of anxiety medication, which by the grace of God I did somehow. I happened to save $5 in my checking account, which will be gone in another week because Amazon is going to charge me for 3 or 4 different memberships that I don't even know of. Like, I had a membership to the Discovery, so I could watch certain shows that I love, like The Curse of Oak Island, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, those kind of unscripted, reality-based, paranormal research, scientific studies. What are they going to find on Oak Island? I love the history of it, the Knights Templar, the Captain Kidd saying that he might have buried his gold on Oak Island, and if they find that stuff, it's just fascinating to me. And The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, oh my god, amazing show. Because for me, UFOs have always been a passion. When I was little, I thought I had an encounter, I still can't believe what I saw. I saw a huge light come down and come behind our car. I was sitting in the back seat of my parents' car. We were driving through the mountains, and this big ball of light just happened to be following us, getting closer, going over us, going behind, and then I was like, Dad, what is that? And he was like, oh, it's just probably a plane or something, and his mind wasn't going where my mind was going as a kid, and I was like, I swear I could not explain what that is to this day. And then I started reading about UFOs when I started reading Isaac Asimov in the 6th grade, and Isaac Asimov is one of my favorite authors, and he's a Russian author who writes about future events, robots, UFOs, mostly robots, and mostly the future, and I love that stuff. I've dedicated, I want my house to be completely voice activated, so I could say, computer, turn off the lamp.
Okay.
And then it gets darker. Computer, turn on the lamp. Computer, turn on the lamp.
Okay.
And so I love that because I can lay in bed at night, use my remote control or use my voice to talk to my smart TV, searching Amazon Prime channels, looking for shows or scary movies to watch, and turn off the light without even having to get out of bed. I'm lazy, but I just think it's cool that that's possible to do. And when I found out that this product, the Alexa or the Echo Dot, you could do that, I was sold, and I was like, studied everything I could find about it. I wanted a whole entire house controlled by Echo. I know it's bad because if the electricity goes, if the internet goes down, I have no control over my house. I can't turn on and off lights. I can't turn on and off the air conditioner. It's just bad news. I rely on the internet for everything too much. But I drink about 2 of these with about 7 grams, minimum of 7 grams of quality ground kratom in it in the morning. With you guys, in the time that I take to make these videos, I'll usually have one because I don't want to spend the 10 minutes in the middle of a video to make another cup of tea. But I usually will finish this before the video's over. And I don't know if you guys watch these videos on your phones, which I can't do. It's too small. I've got a big 40-inch monitor that I use on my Mac Pro that I watch YouTubes with because it's my entertainment, it's my research, it's how I learn things, it's how I communicate with people. I rarely ever talk to somebody on the phone. It's usually via Facebook Messenger. And if you are on my Facebook is Chris Irving, I believe, and that's just CHRIS space IRVING. And you just put that in the Facebook search and you might find me. It's an ugly picture of me with no shirt because I 99% of the time don't wear shirts because I'm from South Florida and we just didn't do that there. No shoes, no shirt. And in Florida, for some reason, it's acceptable culturally to go out in public with no shirt or shoes. And I would even go to clubs at night because if I was playing on stage, this was my uniform: a pair of shorts, baggy shorts, and no t-shirt, no shirt, and a hat. And which is why tattoos were so important, because kind of people in my culture can read my tattoos and tell what I'm about, who I am. That I'm into horror movies, or that somebody broke my heart and stabbed a knife straight through my heart. And roses on this arm all have to do with the band. Red roses for a blue lady. And there were 5 people in the band, and I've got 5 roses on this sleeve. And a skull representing the skull of dead relationships. So then all the numerous straight edge tattoos I got all over, because I'm pretty much, my goal is to be 100% covered. And my ears are pierced, my septum's pierced, my tongue was pierced, my hoo-ha was pierced. Never pierced my eyebrow. I always thought that was stupid. I always wanted to get my lip pierced, but never did it. Never wanted to get my nipples pierced because that just looks stupid on a guy. And I'm not really even attracted to it on a female. I just think it's... And my sister hates me because she moved to Alabama. She moved to Knoxville, where people get a tattoo, and coming from the culture that I came from, one tattoo meant that you wanted to dive into our culture a little bit, but were too afraid to commit full on, so you were not accepted. And the tattoos she gets are silly, People who are tattoo aficionados are really into them. Don't walk into a tattoo shop and look at the wall and say, oh, I want that pretty butterfly on my ankle. That's just a no-no, and then I'll stand there and the girl getting a butterfly on her ankle will ask me, oh my god, your tattoos are so cool. Oh my god, I've got 5. And I'm like, how many do you have? And I'm like, a lot. If you can count your tattoos, you don't have enough. just my opinion. I was a musician, an artist. It was part of my expression. Fortunately, I didn't do my face, mainly because my mom. I respect her enough not to do my face. But my dad was in the army, and he had the old school Sailor Jerry tattoos. The military tattoos, the American Eagle, and as a kid, I thought those were so cool, and I thought he was such a badass, and I wanted to be just like him. And he had his fingers tattooed, and he told me that was his biggest regret, because for him, a blue-collar worker, shaking clients' hands, he was always self-employed, but he was always embarrassed of his fingers because he thought it was low class. And now it's everybody, everybody's got their face tattooed and their hands. I'm definitely doing my hands. I'm not doing my head. But all my friends, the ones I was in bands with, the ones that are really popular in my scene, have their heads completely tattooed with a big skull. Got a friend, Danny Diablo, who was in a band called Scarhead, whose entire head is tattooed, and he just looks scary. He is a scary looking Puerto Rican. And he's got the various gang tattoos on his face. Not from my scene, though. He was not straight edge. He was in a band, or in a clique called DMS, Drugs, Money, Sex. And I was in a gang called SXE, Straight Edge. No drugs, no sex, no meat. And so it was the complete opposite of DMS. But DMS and Straight Edge got along so well because all this stuff happened in the Lower East Side of New York City, where Toby Morris, the straight edge king, he's my age. I'm 54, and I'm still straight edge. He's 54, and he's still in a straight edge band, that preaches straight edge on stage to young kids. He even goes out and does spoken words to kids in school, in all over the country, about the negativities of doing drugs. Look, I'm completely tattooed, I'm in a cool band, and I don't do drugs. Never touched a drug in my life. I wish I could say that, but when I was young, I experimented a lot. I was stupid. But after usually 2 cups of Kratom this size, which is a pretty good size, I feel content. Then I'll usually drink water or coffee. But it keeps me from eating so much. Kratom is a good, just like coffee is, a good, I don't want to say it's a substitution for food because it doesn't have the nutrition, but it does take your appetite lower. And this is Kratom. Oh no, this is part of the chocolate cake I ate for breakfast because I'm really healthy. And you can see I haven't shaved, which is always an indicator. If you notice me and I haven't shaved, you'll know that I'm kind of depressed. And right now I'm depressed because it's the end of the month and I have no Kratom coming up next month that I know of. And not enough money to get my car fixed, which is, again, if I don't get my oil changed, my car could possibly blow up. If I don't get my tires changed and fixed real soon, which is about $500, then I could. Right now, my car is driving off the road because I can't take my hand. When driving with one hand, you can never take your hand off the steering wheel, especially in my car, because it'll drive right off the road because the tires are so messed up and the alignment is messed up. So 99% of my problems are financial. And living with my family at my age, I want my own. I've had my own place since I was 18 years old. I've always been a man, and I look at my little nephews that are 24, 25, and 21 who still live as kids, my 25-year-old nephew that my mom gave the house to, he works a minimum wage high school job and is never going to be able to afford this place when my mom dies and when I move out. Because right now, I'm giving him $400 a month, which pays for the electric, it pays for the mortgage, and he doesn't even earn $400 a month. I mean, he earns nothing, and he barely ever works because he's an Xbox Generation Z kid. Plus, he's totally entitled, and his mom did it to him. I mean, when my mom needs more money because when I move out, my mom's not gonna have enough money to feed herself because I won't be paying her extra money like I do every month now to take care of my mom, because that's what a good son should do, in my opinion, is take care of your mom, or take care of your grandma or your aunt or your family or your brother or your sister. But my brothers and sisters didn't get that memo, and my mom is out of sight, out of mind, and I miss my dad so bad, and I didn't see him the last couple of months he was alive because I was living alone, and I lived a couple of miles away from them, and they didn't travel very far at their age at that time, and my dad was still worked until the day he died. I mean, he died working, and I would give anything to spend one more day with him, and I don't want to feel that way with my mom. And so I hope that answered your question about Kratom. And just for everybody's clarification about how I pronounce it, my mom calls it Kratom, and I don't correct her, but when I say Kratom, she gets pissed at me and says, why don't you say it right? I am saying it right, I don't know what to tell you. I don't get pissed off at the way you say it, and so it shouldn't bother you the way I say it, just like it shouldn't bother me the way somebody on another YouTube channel says it, or the way people comment and put K hard A T O M, Kratom, and Joe Rogan calls it that, and he's somebody that I respect, but the guests that he's had on his channel that are scientists, and they know the scientific name of it and what it's labeled as scientifically, taught Joe Rogan how to say it, and in turn taught me how to say it, just so I don't sound like an idiot if I'm talking to somebody educated in the area. Or there's Kratom bars out there. I mean, there are like coffee shops, there's Kratom combo shops where you'll pay $5 for a regular size coffee cup of Kratom. $10 for something like this, and that's crazy. I mean, I'll drink it at home, make a video, hang out with you guys. I hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. Again, I'm up to 1,000 and almost 10 subscribers now, which every new subscriber I get is like a big serotonin or dopamine rush in my brain. And yes, my ultimate goal is to get monetized by YouTube and Google, because I could really use a little extra cash especially in the coming years, because I'm terrified that the 2025 project is going to cut disability, which will leave me homeless with nothing. It'll leave me in the streets. So I need to find some sort of other income just in case that happens. And that's again me worrying about the future and increasing my anxiety when it hasn't happened yet. And will it? I mean, there's a 50-50 chance depending on who gets elected, and I'm not going to get into a political thing. I will just let you know that I'm not a MAGA person. I believe women should have the right to their own bodies, and I believe in common sense. I believe in compassion, love. I don't believe in hate and retribution, and I don't believe in liars and criminals. That's all I'll say about it. And I hope I didn't offend you if you are a person that swings very far right, like my aunts and stuff, that won't talk to me anymore at all, because they know that I voted for Obama and Biden. You know, they cut me out of their lives. They call me horrible things, and so I try to stay out of it. I try really hard not to give my opinion on such things, because my opinion is nothing. I know nothing about politics. I just know people, and I get scared when I think of my future under a mega controlled dictatorship or authoritarian, that wants to make sure all of the rich people are taken care of, and people like me that need government assistance. I mean, I paid into the government assistance my entire life, since I started working at 14 years old as a dishwasher at a Pizza Hut. And from that day on, I was paying into Social Security, so that if one day I became the way I am today, I could survive. I hate those people that fake, get, oh, I'm depressed, so I can't work. Fuck that. I mean, I worked when I was depressed. I worked after my stroke. I went to school after my stroke, but I can't do it anymore. I have seizures now that I barely drive anymore because I'm afraid I'm going to have a seizure on the highway and kill somebody, and I won't do that. I'm more responsible. And I believe everybody should love each other, I believe God put us here. We have consciousness, which we can't explain, and we have love. And love feels good. And compassion feels good. Helping somebody else out for no reason, just to help them, feels really good. Feels better than punching some guy in the nose because I disagree with them and breaking it. I mean, I always feel guilty after I do that. If a person with some sort of mental disorder attacks me, just because of my beliefs or whatever, and because they disagree with me, and they punch me in the nose, and I fight back or retaliate, and I hurt them very bad. Because I was taught at a young age through all the martial arts, go play places like the ears, the nose, the eyeball, here. I mean, there's nothing worse than getting punched square in the face, breaking somebody's jaws, crushing their teeth in, and ruining them for maybe the rest of their life, And that was the kind of person I was. And that never felt good to me. But if I saw an old lady on the side of the road with a flat tire, I would pull over every time and help her change her spare tire. That felt good. I don't know about you, but I think good feels better than bad. And I'm not a religious person so much, but I believe in a universal good, which is love. And I believe there's a universal bad, which was me at a time when I was mentally unhealthy. So keeping my mental health is important, because I want to be one of those people that is remembered as being kind, compassionate, intelligent, and loving. Not a badass thug bully. I hate bullies. Hate them. I like justice. If somebody does something wrong to you, I like them to get served justice. But not any more justice than what they deserve, do I believe in an eye for an eye? I don't know. I used to. But if you take out somebody's eye, then you've got a lot less eyes in the world. So, and I also believe in the philosophy, if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. So I do stand up for things, and I do believe in things, but I keep a lot of it to myself so as not to offend anybody else, because offending somebody just pisses them off, and I don't want to piss people off. I love y'all. have a really, really good weekend, and I will sorry for not wearing a shirt, but I'm having a rough morning. I had to wake up super early and get my prescription because it was 2 or 3 days late because we have gotten bad weather here in Tennessee. And this was the rainy season, and my pharmacy closes on weekends, so I had to go a weekend without my medicine. So I got it. It's just, I don't know, it was a mess, and I don't know if I screwed up by taking my medicine on the wrong days or at the wrong times or taking too many one day or something and got brain damage. That's my excuse. Anyway, you listen to me Jimmy Driving long enough. I read every single comment, I swear, and I try to reply to as many of you as I can as fast as I can, but I've got other things. I've got to take care of my mom. I've got to clean the house. I've got to pack. In August, I'm filling out an application for an apartment complex that is for people like me, and it's a year waiting list, so no matter what, I'm going to be stuck in this environment for a year unless I can find a roommate or somebody to share the bills with, because right now I make $800 a month, and I've got a $250 lawyer payment that comes out of that, and some various hospital bills, wear and tear of my car, just blah blah blah. Anyway, I said goodbye a couple of times. Have a hard time saying goodbye to y'all. Love to talk to you. Alright, have a good day, weekend, guys. Bye bye.